I'm visiting a new location. No preconceived ideas. Just the landscape to draw inspiration from. New sights and sounds. You can't beat a photographic adventure to get the creative juices flowing.
So I'm motivated by the landscape, the things that I see around me. Whether it's the light, the colours, the textures, or just something about the shape and form of the land. It could be the atmosphere, the weather conditions, or any of those things that really get me interested and make me want to stop and make a photograph. But I've been working slightly differently over the last few months. Over the last few months, my landscape photography, all the videos that I brought you have been very well planned. I've gone to locations that I've known, places which I've visited before. And although that's made it quite easy to get videos together for you, because I know exactly what it is that I'm going to be finding when I get there. I know exactly what I'm going to be able to do when I arrive. I know what to expect, and I've taken images there before. But that's not really what inspires me. What really inspires me is being out in landscapes, seeing new things, and enjoying new places. And it does feel like I've been missing out. I've been missing out on the excitement of seeing new things and the way that that gets my creative juices flowing and inspires me to make new images and learn new things. So let's go and find the first location and take some photographs. I think it's going to work out really well. So this is a brand new location for me. Anybody that watches my channel will know that I'm a bit of a sucker for moving water, old bridges, rocks, anything like that. It really gets my creative sort of mind working. I normally end up taking very similar photographs, but you know, sometimes the classic ones really work well. But what's different here for me is I've never been to this location before. So I'm really interested to see what it is I can actually make out of it. You may well think I'm slightly crazy. I've just seemingly taken a picture of my hand. I wasn't. Well, I was, but it was a reason for it. When I shoot panoramas, I put my hand in front of the camera at the beginning, and then I know that the next sequence of pictures which come up are the beginning of a panorama shot. I've set this image up, and I have taken a standard format, horizontal landscape format picture anyway, and I did it with a 16:9 crop. And while I was using the 16:9 crop, although I liked it, it still didn't get me in close enough to some of the details and some of the things that I wanted to show. So I decided to zoom in, turn the camera in the vertical format, and try and shoot it as a panorama. So hopefully that will come out. I'm in quite an awkward position to sit as well. You probably noticed it, that it was a bit difficult to get here, and I'm perched on the edge of a tree and the camera's half in the water and half not. And when I'm in a situation like that, I like to prepare as much as I can. So I tried the polarizer before I set the camera up. I have used a bit of polarization just to take some of the reflective light off the surface of the water. It just gives it a little bit more depth to the image and makes it a little bit stronger, helps deal with those highlights. So the panorama, I was shooting about just over 1 second, 1 1/6 second, something like that, and shooting at f11, put my teeth in, focusing on the bridge itself. So hopefully those images will come out really well. I'm glad I came here first, because you won't be able to see it where you are, but on the right hand side of me, just over my shoulder, there's a pub, and I'm sure this place will be really busy a bit later in the day. So time for me to pack up get to my next location. Don't know where that's going to be yet. I've got about a 6-mile walk planned for this morning, so it could take us through a wide range of different landscapes. So have a look at this picture, see what you think, and I'll be back with you in a minute.
I probably should have waded out into the middle of the river to take this one. However, the panoramic version is okay. I cropped it heavily on the bottom, so I could possibly have zoomed in a little bit tighter. Not a portfolio picture, but a good start for a new location.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that last photograph and it came out okay. I don't honestly know as I'm walking along whether I'm going to be using the Panorama that I took or whether it'll be the 16:9 standard crop, but either way I enjoyed taking both of them. It just goes to show, doesn't it really, that it's really great to sort of be inspired by the location and not just sort of plan your shoots. That's what I really prefer. I really enjoy putting one foot in front of the other and making the best of the situations that we've got around us. It doesn't matter where you're going, there's always something to photograph. You just got to look for that special moment. But I've got to be honest, right now it's a little bit difficult to try and find something. I seem to be on this really long track and it's well, it's just not that inspiring at the moment, but I'm sure I'm going to find something. It's just about getting those creative juices flowing along, and at some point I will find what I'm looking for. Thought I'd found a composition then, inspired by the landscape. I saw some fantastic light, but it just wasn't going to work out. I don't believe that anybody's actually born with the ability to make photographs and find compositions. I think this power of observation, this ability to look at a collection of trees or a jumble of hills and find compositions in it is something that is learned. And the only way to learn it is to get out and practice. Get out and enjoy the landscape, go to new locations and stretch things a little bit. If you keep going back to the same places, although it's easy and it's comfortable, you lose that ability. You lose the ability to see new compositions and new things. So it's always worth getting out and finding new areas, new things to challenge you. And this is certainly challenging me today. This is my kind of photography. Sat down, nice and quiet. Not often you get to sit down and take photographs at the same time. Whilst we were walking along, I was just talking about contrasts and different things in the landscape and how you need to sort of train your eye to see things. And it's true, because I just rounded a bend and I found this fantastic thistle. In fact, it's a grouping of 4 thistles. One of them's in bloom, 3 of them aren't, but they're against a nice green background. And we've got a contrast of textures and a contrast of colour as well here, which is really, really nice. I'm not quite happy with the composition. I think I can get more out of it, so I'm going to move in much, much closer. I think it'll work a bit better. So let me just move this camera. Well, I think that's a bit better. I've moved in much, much closer. And I'm probably going to do this as a full frame without any crop, but I might crop the sides, crop it into a 5:4 at some point. But we'll just have to see how that works out. I've also put the polarising filter on again, just to take off some of the highlight off the surface of the leaves, just to saturate those greens. And what I've also managed to do is do a little bit of focus stacking, because it's so still and it's just starting to rain. So I've taken those pictures. Hopefully one of them's going to come out and look good. I'm going to pack up and yeah, then I'll let you have a look at it, and hopefully I'll find somewhere dry before I get too wet. Right, I'll see you in a minute. Well, there was a 50% chance of rain, and it looks like we got it. I'm going to put this photograph up for you now. I hope you enjoy looking at it. It's a bit brighter than the conditions I'm seeing at the moment. I'm going to keep walking. Hopefully it's going to stop raining, because it is 50-50 for the next couple of hours, so maybe there's still a chance to get some more photographs. But with that brief downpour, my gear is already fairly wet, but I managed to dry most of it off before I put it away in the bag. So hopefully it'll dry out, and then we can have a bit of a tidy, bit of a clean up, and get a final photograph in. So that's what we're off to find now. I'll see you in a minute.
Mixing in a bit of close-up photography to the adventure was nice. I wish the thistles were in a neater diagonal, but that's nature. I cropped the sides to 5:4 ratio and added a vignette to cut out unnecessary distractions. I also used the 8-image focus stack, put together in RAW using Helicon Focus. Check out this video at the end.
Well, that's good. The rain stopped. So I've been able to sit down and have a quick cup of coffee. I found my next photograph. I'll show you that in a minute. Time to dry out first and have something to eat. You know, I used to worry about my photography a little bit. I used to worry about not having a distinct photographic style. And it's one of the things that used to drive me to take pictures and try and improve, was to look at my own style of photography and work out how I wanted to take my images, whether they were black and white, whether they were going to be really sort of contrasty or very graphic in style, whether I wanted dark and moody or light and airy. And I was trying to make my pictures all fit within some kind of parameters, so that when people looked at my images they could say, oh, that's a Brian Northmore. I'm not sure if that was the right thing. Can't really make my mind up. Let's go and take this photograph. If you think about it, that's absolutely crazy. Trying to find photographic style and putting that more important than the actual subject itself. It's like learning to drive without having a destination. When you do your photography, and when you go out and start looking for images and start looking for pictures and thinking about what you're shooting, you're thinking about the subject first, aren't you? Naturally thinking about the subject. So why on earth would you pass up an image and walk past it just because it doesn't fit in with your photographic style? My photography improved a lot when I realised that the most important thing was the subject. And my style flowed out of deciding exactly how I was going to take the image, and that was based on how I was influenced by the landscape and what I was seeing around me. Take this subject that I'm looking at here, for example. I'll put some viewfinder video up so that you can see what it is I'm talking about. When I was walking along the bank, it wasn't some particular style that I was looking for that influenced me and asked me to stop and take this photograph. It was all about the lighting, about the way that that tree in the background had some beautiful top light coming down through the tree canopy. And hopefully when I finish editing this image and put it together, I can bring out that lighting on it. But of course it's not just that, it's got a fantastic foreground. I like the white water moving and twisting its way through the rocks. And I've used the polarising filter again just to sort of take that sheen off the surface of those rocks as well. I've been bracketing my exposures. Main reason for doing that is because I'm not quite sure what exposure I'm going to end up using. ISO's been increased a little bit because I didn't want the shutter speed to go too slow. I wanted a little bit of texture in the water, although to be honest there isn't going to be a lot because it's moving quite quick and it is quite dark. I've also turned the camera in the portrait format as well. The reason for that was because I didn't like the sides of the image. There's some very bright lit trees off to the right hand side, which are going to look a little bit strange if I do it that way round. And the left is completely empty. In fact, the contrast range between left and right is so extreme it would make it look like a photograph of two halves, and it would really be quite distracting and messy. So the vertical format worked well. I'll probably crop it into a 5:4 in Lightroom when I finally process the image. Right, I'm going to get these pictures taken. I'm using the 2-second timer just so that I don't jog the camera. Okay, that's it. Have a look at this picture and see what you think.
I can't help myself near water. I have to photograph it. But what attracted me to this image was the top light on the moss-covered tree, desperately leaning over the cascade. The flowing water makes a dynamic lead in, or maybe in this case it's a lead out, as I saw the tree first. Once again, cropped to the classic 5:4 ratio.
When I came out today, I wanted to visit a new location, find some new inspiration, some different places to go, and add some other ideas to my list of locations to come back to. And I probably will come back here because it's going to look fantastic in autumn. But the main thing about today is I've lost the inspiration that I get from visiting new locations, some of the excitement of photography, of adventure and exploring, looking around and discovering new things. And I encourage you all to go out and do that. I've certainly enjoyed today. It's been a really good opportunity for me. I've had a fantastic day, and I'm going to finish up my coffee, have a bit more breakfast, and head back to the car and edit these photographs. If you like today's video, please think about subscribing, click a like, comment, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.